only were there 3 films. One of them, the first one, or at least the first one I have on my list, was announced that there's going to be a new Star Wars movie featuring Rey, happening 15 years after fucking Rise of Skywalker. Which I want to take just a quick second and do a victory lap.
Okay.
This is my favorite thing about this, was that this is proof positive that Mike Zero, Overlord DVD, all the fandom menace, cockless pieces of shit on YouTube who are spreading these lies. And, I have an inside source that says Kathleen Kennedy is going to be executed on the front lawn of Lucasfilm, and George Lucas is going to come back and sword fight Bob Iger, and he's going to take the franchise back, and then they're going to kill Rey, but they're going to carry her head around on a pike in the movie. That's the whole movie. Just 2 hours of Luke Skywalker holding fucking Rey's head on a pike, just dancing around on a mountain with Rey's head on a pike. All of those guys were liars. They were full of shit, and this is proof. This wasn't a thing where they're like, I had a source and it turned out to be incorrect. These guys knew they were lying. They were doing it because they knew it would get them clicks, and now we know they're all liars. So you should treat them like liars. You shouldn't watch their videos, and the next time someone mentions Mike Zero or Overlord DVD in a sentence, you should say, shut the fuck up, those guys are stupid, right? That's our victory lap. I just want to put that out there. I want to make sure everyone understands that we were right the whole time. Mike Zero was wrong the whole time, and he's a piece of shit. So this, let me take a deep breath after that. It felt really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is something that I personally am extraordinarily excited about, because I've been begging for years for Disney to take and Lucasfilm to go outside of the Skywalker saga years. Right?
Yes.
Like just expand the universe. Let us go further forward, further back. Let's look at stuff that isn't directly related to this one fucking family.
Like that 160-year period in a rich history of thousands and thousands of years. You know, which, by the way, they're doing this, but they're also keeping their other foot directly in that time period, though. I noticed.
That's fine. I don't need everything to be outside of that small slice of history. I just want stuff that's outside there that stretches the universe and makes it bigger. I totally get you. So this is directed by Shareem Obaid-Chinoy, who is in charge of Miss Marvel. Which, look, you can kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck. I liked Miss Marvel. I thought it was kind of fun. It wasn't, it's not the most groundbreaking MCU thing in the world. I didn't expect it to be. I thought it was going to be a goofy teenage girl in fucking high school who gets powers, and that's exactly what it was. So the movie is going to be set in a Jedi Academy, quote Jedi Academy, with Jedi Master Rey attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order like Luke Skywalker did before her. So. I've got a couple of thoughts I have about this. A lot of comments that were happening as we were posting. I would find out something and I would immediately post it because I was freaking out so much about it. And a lot of people were asking about Finn, first off, because if you remember the newest Star Wars holiday special revolved around Finn being a trainee of Rey, right? Now you'll notice that John Boyega came out of the gate a while back with some real harsh, aggressive words for Disney, right? Yeah, there's a massive problem. They're not going to get John Boyega for this film.
Oh, I think they are, actually, because...
Really?
Because, he was pretty outspoken, right? And you're thinking, wow, man, he's burning a lot of bridges. Except that a couple weeks ago, in an interview, he started softening his language about Disney and was like, I've kind of come to peace with the character, and I've come to peace with everything, and I've come to peace, and I've come to peace, and I've come to peace with it. And
I'm willing to bet he has a couple million reasons to come to peace with everything.
Probably more, and because I'm sure that he was able to position himself to get paid pretty well for it.
Which honestly, God bless.
Yeah.
Get your money. Disney is a soulless corporation. Every dollar you can take from them is a moral good.
Yeah, it's a dollar they don't have, right? So. I think he's going to be in it, and I think that they're like, look, we're going to do this, you're going to be in it, you're going to need to start walking back some of the shit that you said. And so he was like, all right, that's fine. You guys are paying. And I'm sure he was probably like, if I'm doing this again, I'm not going to be the guy in the third movie that you just brush off to have a side quest with the other fucking black character.
I'm not shouting Rey anymore.
Yeah, I'm done. In fact, I'm not saying her name anymore. We're renaming her to something else. So, The other question I like, I just kind of like write down questions, stream of consciousness, as I think of them, like throughout the whole weekend, right? So, like, is Rey doomed to make the same mistakes as all the Jedi before her? Is she going to be finally the Jedi that breaks the mold, right? In the old canon, in Legends, Luke was the one that kind of broke free from all the crazy like dogma of the Jedi, right? They kind of changed that for canon, where he went with what he knew. He was taught by Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yeah.
And he reflected their values, which is also an entirely reasonable thing, because that's what happens when you have teachers. You do what they say. And he found out a little too late that he should have been trying to make things better instead of making things the same. And he kind of fell apart as a result, right? So I'm wondering if Rey learns from those lessons and we see a much different Jedi Order than what we're used to seeing.
A major theme of the sequel trilogy was changing from the way things were, like Kylo Ren's kill the past whole philosophy. Things that Rey was actively trying to change from how the Jedi have been. So I think she is going to be the one that sort of breaks away from the existing dogma and tries something new.
I think so too. So, and also they've only talked about one movie. I don't know if they're going to do like a whole trilogy or not. But it has me thinking about, like, they've got to have an antagonist. They've got to have a bad guy. It can't be Palpatine. Because it wasn't.
I certainly hope not.
You would think so. It wasn't a good idea in Rise of Skywalker. At least how it was presented. I think it could have been really good if they would have kind of set it up earlier. But maybe the Sith Eternal, even that, like maybe like one of the guys like had to watch all of his friends get crushed by rocks, and like, but he was like the one that survived. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna get that Rey Skywalker, whatever.
They do have the name Eternal right there.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Maybe it's a Snoke clone. Like just another
more Snokes. Oh my God, no, no more of that.
You cut my brother thing in half. Prepare to die.
Yeah. Hopefully it's to someone new, right? So like a new threat, And I know like maybe they do.
Although if it is a Snoke clone, we get more Andy Serkis, which I'm never going to complain about.
That's the thing, is that we know in Star Wars Andy Serkis can be anywhere. Like look, you see a table in a scene in fucking Star Wars, it could be Andy Serkis. Like you just don't fucking know he's that good, right?
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, maybe they go with something more classical in Legends canon and do something like the Yuzong Vong, or something entirely new that has not made it to film, like a unique, new, fresh threat to the galaxy. That's what I would do if I were in charge.
You remember Vergir from the Yuzong Vong books?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little bird Jedi who was fucking around with Jason. Yeah, so I think with a few tweaks, she could be a really interesting antagonist.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, that's the thing about that. I don't know. The Yuzong Vong thing was. I have mixed feelings about it because
it's divisive. Yeah,
it's because it is actually a really cool bad guy, right? Like their whole thing about like all their shit's organic and like their guns are just like, I don't know, like the vagina of another creature from where they're from, and it like fires like vagina discs or something, like and all their ships are like alive and shit like that. Like that's kind of cool, right? But at the same time, there were some of the Jedi stuff started to get really ridiculous. But then again, some of it wasn't, like how Jason Solo's whole thing was really neat. And so who knows, maybe they find a way to kind of graft that on. Before we go on to the next thing, Chris says, I am really happy about all the Star Wars movies.